builder. This is the Lupo Smartpanel Dual Color. It's bi-color only and it comes in at $160. This is the Lupo Kickass Panel that has RGB capabilities and it costs around $300. Even though the dual panel color is small, the lensed LED puts out more power than the 60-watt cob LED. The Kickass, on the other hand, only puts out power close to the popular newer 660 RGB. The dual color lasts over 7 hours off of one large Sony NP-F battery, while the Kickass only lasts 2 hours. Do I recommend them? Yes to the dual color panel because it's so powerful you can literally set up a small interview keylight situation without needing to bump up your camera settings. It's a no off the bat for the Kickass panel because it's quite expensive for the color output that you get. You can easily get something similar for half the price. However, if you want this kind of power in a smaller form factor, then it's totally up to you. Done. Roll that intro. Hey, what's going on everybody? You're watching Too Long Didn't Read Filmmaker, where the answers comes first, the reasons come last, but we're constantly and always still learning. So today we're going to find out whether or not Lupo's Smartpanel Dual Color and its Kickass panel, which is an RGB WW, is going to be the right solution for you and your overall filmmaking kit. And I want to thank Lupo for sending this out to me so I can provide you with my review today. So for the most part, I've pretty much stopped accepting pocket RGBs and pocket lights in for review because they're basically all the same thing. No one is truly innovating on this front. Except for Lupo, they've done one thing that's different. They've actually lensed all the LED diodes to focus the light and get a lot more power. And based on my tests, it's a significant amount more power. And I think I can convince some of you guys that this might be a super ultra portable interview setup for 3-point lighting, or you could even do something like this for YouTube, and narrative filmmakers possibly can also use it as well. The Smartpanel Dual Color design is very simple, doesn't have a whole lot going on here. You just have a simple on-off switch, little battery meter with 3 LED lights, and then you have 2 knobs to dial in your dimness and your color temperature. Now the Kickass panel is a bit more involved with more dials. Some actually have hard stops, which is nice. You now have a dot matrix LCD screen to kind of go through your menus. Now the menu layout is a little bit clunky as you need to go into the manual option first to access any of your color modes like CCT, HSI, even your special effects. Now both panels have a good amount of quarter 20 mounting points to choose from. 2 of them are actually for the included diffuser plate should you want to get rid of the multi-shadow effect. What I love about the battery design for these Lupo panels is the fact that you can power it in 3 different ways. You can either use a traditional Sony NP-F battery, you can use a USB power bank, preferably one that is 2.4 amps, or you can either just buy a really cheap 12-volt DC power brick and try to get one that's at least 1.5 amps or higher just to make sure you're really able to power this whole thing. And that just gives you so many options. If you forget a battery or you forget whatever, there are other ways you can power this thing, which is awesome. One quick thing about the USB power option, you are limited down to 50% total output. So if you need maximum output, you're either going to have to use the NP-F battery or the plug-in DC power. And without further ado, let's see the output tests and see how they do against each other. Now for the output test, I'm doing something different this time so that you all don't need to sit through a whole bunch of f-stop scans. Instead, I'm going to show you what f-stop I had to get to achieve 50% IRE from 6 feet away. My camera settings are always up top. In this case, the dual color is much more powerful in CCT mode than the Kickass panel, giving you more flexibility in your diffusion and exposure settings. The Kickass RGB is nice and punchy due to the lensed LED diodes, just enough for most people to get a splash of color in certain spots. It's not very floody though, so if you need a large splash of color, this light won't do it. When it comes to color quality, when you're only dialing in the Kelvin of your camera, the Smartpanel does a great job, and it's pretty much the same thing across the board when we see other LEDs. Basically, the tungstens, you're going to have some yellow in your skin tones and reds, while the daylight remains fairly accurate. Now the Kickass panel, on the other hand, the numbers are quite off. They're very blue. What you have to do is take whatever number you do want, minus about 600 or 700 Kelvin, and you're going to be much closer to where you need to be for color accuracy. For the battery test with a large Sony NP-F battery, the dual color panel comes in at 7 hours and 20 minutes, which is amazing, whereas the Kickass panel dies with the same battery at about 2 hours. I'm not exactly sure why it's using up so much power, but it's great to know that the dual color panel can last so long. So what's the bottom line here? Is the Lupo Smartpanel or the Kickass panel something you should be thinking about for your overall filmmaking kit? And I have to say, I do recommend it, especially the Smart Panel. As you saw, I was able to create more or less a nice soft key light, and having just something that small, being able to give out that much power to get you a nice soft key light, that is awesome. That works really well for a portable interview setup, or maybe for the narrative filmmakers, again, nice and easy and portable. But when you also think about the design of it, the fact that you can power it with 3 different types of battery power, whether it's USB, NPF battery, or plug-in with direct power, that just opens it up for you. Last but not least, my recommendation on the Kickass panel is a little bit, I don't necessarily recommend it, and it's truly from a budget standpoint, because it costs $300. And in terms of its overall output, it's giving you very similar output to just a regular RGB WW panel that costs literally 50% less. So when it comes from budget standpoint, I don't really recommend it. However, when it comes from you as a traveler or you as trying to complete a kit, yes, you can use the Kickass with it if you want to keep everything in one system, having the benefits of the 3 ways to power everything and just keeping everything nice and small and having that focus light. So in those cases, I would say, if you want to get 2 of the Smart Panel Dual Color and 1 of the Kickass panel could either serve as a fill light, since it is about half the power as the Smart Panel Dual Color, or you can use it as a hair light, whether you want to use it in bicolored mode or RGB just to give you a little extra something something, or if you want to focus a little bit of color in a very specific spot in an interview setup, then you can do that too and just get yourself some color in the background. If you're going to use all 3 together in this way, you got yourself a very nice 3-point lighting kit. But is the Kickass panel necessarily something you should add? That's completely up to you, and in terms of how you want to do your lighting designs and how much extra stuff you want to bring with you, should you decide to go with a more traditional, like a newer 660 RGB panel. And hey guys, that is it for this week, everybody. If this video has made all the influence in your purchasing decisions, or you just want to say thank you, I do have my affiliate links down below, as well as the super thanks button turned on. And any little bit helps so I can continue making videos like this for you. And as always, if you have any questions or comments, go ahead and leave it down below. I will get to them as fast as I can. But until then, like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you guys in the next one.